So what I liked, I'll start with my favorite music tracks first. And my favorite one is going to be Paradise Paradise. Definitely my absolute favorite. It's like relaxing beach music that just makes me happy. On the opposite end, I like TV World. It's upbeat, gets me hyped, but still has like a classy, smooth feel. Physical Challenge is good too. It reminds me of music from like Diddy Kong Racing, one of my favorite racing games. After that, we have Welcome to the Green Room and Vapor Buster. And honestly, having like Buster in the title of some attacks and some of the music tracks makes me think the creator's like a fan of Mega Man, which honestly is great. And I also absolutely loved the mini games. Not only do they make sense for the theme of this chapter, but they brought variety to a game that already had it. And my favorite mini games were, without a doubt, the Guitar Hero one and the Monster Susie one. So much fun. And I do love the interactions with the main party in this chapter too. We're seeing changes in them, especially Susie stepping up once again and trying to reason with Tina before fighting him. Even then, she shows mercy and encourages him when that seems to normally be like Ross's job. Susie is a great character who, honestly, I could easily relate to, especially after finding out her backstory and how she had to move away to different places constantly. That hit home for me. That was really personal. And I do really like this constant theme of overcoming tyranny in a way that I'm seeing in every chapter. For example, freeing those characters from their contracts and kind of knocking people down a peg who might benefit from having these people serve them or be in a contract, things like that. And now moving on to things I didn't like about the chapter. So this is going to be kind of short maybe, but it was basically the solo Mantle game, or like the beta version Chris played by himself. It just felt wrong to me, and I didn't enjoy taking out those creatures in the game. And that message in the room that said become stronger, like, it didn't feel encouraging. Instead, it felt like a command. But overall, the game felt like something I shouldn't have played or even seen. And once again, we had rules cards show up again, so that was just an automatic dislike. And another thing that happened early on at the beginning of the chapter, it seems like Rosse is depressed and just wearing a mask. Like, are the darkness really just imaginary or fake? And to hear him explain that at the beginning was, honestly, it was such a downer when I was really excited to play this chapter. But luckily, Tina jumps in shortly after and the fun begins. And this is just a personal thing that doesn't affect my rating of the game at all. Like, this is a realistic interaction that people have. Sometimes you're talking about something depressing or deep, only to get cut off by your friend who needs you to come jumpstart their car or something like that. And now onto some kind of random thoughts I had, but we'll see where this goes. Overall, chapter 3 is my favorite chapter so far. And it's even more fun than chapter 2, and we learn more about the story, so that's great. And there are levels to this story that I don't understand yet, but honestly, that makes it better. It's not just some king giving you the quest to defeat the demon lord who is destroying the world for no reason, and the main character is just a goody two-shoes. These characters are teenagers, and their task was saving the world while dealing with their own realistic issues while having layers to their personalities. And I hope to see more and more of that as we go through these chapters. I'm on chapter 4 now, and I know we have some time for the other ones to release, but it's just getting better and better, like people told me in the comments. And now I'll be going over some questions from my viewers, and then I'll end it with a couple of my own. So this first question comes from my first post when I finished chapter 1 and 2. Super Destroyer Fox asked me, so far, who do you think is the Roaring Knight? My first thought was Chris's brother Azrael, because he's mentioned a lot and I haven't seen him at all. Plus, he liked the magical sword-wielding character in that game, so I'm like, a knight who creates fountains is kind of magical, so maybe, but honestly just a random guess. My other thought was Chris, like an evil version of Chris from the future with extra corrupted armor and a bigger sword. Like, hey, somehow equip this powerful dark armor, Chris, you'll become stronger. And during the night battle, Chris can hold their breath, so that makes me think they're afraid and trying to calm down instead of giving orders. So this is something that really shakes Chris, it seems like. Maybe they're forced to do terrible things. I only say this because at the end of chapter 2, Chris stabs the ground and things go dark. Then we start chapter 3 in the dark world, and that's really suspicious. Why would they be doing this? I don't know, but maybe there's some Undertale connection that I don't understand because I didn't play Undertale. This next one comes from one of my biggest supporters, Mr. Egg Eggerson. Asked me, how do you feel when the Roaring Knight cut off Tenna's arms? And honestly, I feel horrified. He was finally coming around just to get stabbed in the back like that, and that was pretty cowardly on the Knight's part. But it's like in an anime, you suddenly get the character's backstory before they die in that episode or the next episode. Tenna is my favorite boss character so far. I think he has a lot going on, and his reasons for doing what he did is just great writing. It's not, hey, I'm the bad guy of TV World, because why not? Next question comes from another person I see often on my channel. Goose Tombs asked me, what's your goal in life or your dream? And honestly, to build a life where I'm not just working to survive, so I can be there for people and help people out in more meaningful ways. Like, I got laid off from a few tech jobs due to contracts suddenly ending and, other reasons. So there have definitely been some tough times for me in the past 6 years or so. I had to go get plasma, do odd jobs, and honestly been going to food pantries to survive, and I don't want to do that anymore. I would love to make a living doing creative work that I'm actually passionate about. That way I can, I guess, leave behind something that might make people happy or let them know they're not alone. And this goes out to my nerdy people who felt like outcasts, really. Ultimately, I want to finish my games and in the future see people playing them in public. I want to write another book, see reviews on how it touched someone's heart. I want to hear people playing my music at events. I want to build a park. I also want to make a nerdy convention of some sort that's not expensive. But yeah, thank you for the questions. I definitely enjoy reading your comments and everything that I see on my videos and in my lives. So keep them coming. And as for my own questions about this chapter, I'm going to start with, what the heck was that black creature at the beginning of the chapter where Ralsei was explaining the Dark World? I thought that was going to be the boss of this chapter, because at the end of chapter 2, we saw it smile on the TV in the living room, and then throughout this chapter we actually, I think, saw it again on some of the TVs. So I guess maybe we'll run into that in chapter 4, but that was really creepy. And of course I would like to know who the hell the Knight is and just what is in this bunker, since apparently the Knight dragged Undyne there and the door opened. It's just, there's a lot of mysteries involving that, so hopefully we get to see that in chapter 4. And this one isn't really a question, it's just more so something I forgot to add in. I like those two characters, El Nina and El Nino, and their whole relationship arc that we went through and how that tied in. It definitely brought some drama to the chapter, which, is focused on TV shows and different things like that. But they were pretty entertaining and unique characters, and I wonder if we'll see them again in chapter 4. And to end things off, I'm going to do things a little bit differently than the last video. I want to show off some of the great artwork the artists in my Discord put in there and gave me permission to share with you guys. And the first one is from JJS Player. It's a Lancer explosion meme, which I thought was pretty funny because it's like a fake spoiler. And then we have Spamton G Spamton with this Spamton portrait, which is really nice. And it seems like people really like this character. I didn't see too much of him in chapter 2, but he definitely stuck with a lot of people. So thanks for allowing me to share that art, guys, and I hope to see some more. But other than that, we're moving on to chapter 4, and I'm really excited once again. The game just keeps getting better and better, and I'm going to try to stream every Sunday, and maybe for a couple hours, and we'll get caught up to chapter 5 probably in no time, and look forward to the next chapters that come out. But other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.